Nuggets 10, and they will be hosting Portland tonight. The schedule shows the Lakers with 5 games left at home, 5 on the road. At home they have Portland, Seattle, Houston, Golden State, and the final game of the season against Sacramento. On the road, Houston, a couple of soft touches in Dallas and Minnesota, and then Utah and Seattle. As far as the Nuggets are concerned, 9 games left. At home, Houston on Wednesday, the Clippers, Dallas, and Phoenix the last game of the season. 5 on the road tonight in Phoenix, tomorrow night in Los Angeles, Tuesday in Golden State, and they'll finish out on the road in Texas, in Dallas, and San Antonio. So if we look back at the playoff standings again, keep in mind the 2.5 games behind the Lakers looks a little closer than it really is, because LA has beaten the Nuggets in the season series. They have the tiebreaker, so the Nuggets can't just catch the Lakers, they must beat them out. So if the Lakers say split their last 10 games, they win 5, that'll give them 41 wins this year. The Nuggets must win 8 of 9 to beat them out. The magic number is 7. Any combination of 7 LA wins and or Nuggets losses, and that would be it. But the Nuggets certainly still have a shot. And Walt, for this thing to become serious, all the Nuggets have to do tonight is beat the Phoenix Suns, a team with the best record in the league, a team that's won 9 in a row, a team that's 31-4 on their home floor, and a team that the last time they played the Nuggets here beat them by 41. So that's all the Nuggets have to do tonight.
Well, that sounds very easy. I think they're going to do it very easily tonight. Well, the Phoenix Suns haven't played the way they're capable of playing early in the season. They've won 2 games, winning ugly. But tonight, I think the Nuggets can slip up on them. I think the Phoenix Suns really want to get the season over with, Al. They're ready to get in the playoffs and win an NBA championship. So the Nuggets have an excellent chance of sneaking up on them tonight. And plus, the Phoenix Suns have some injuries also, Al.
They certainly do. Sabonis, Johnson, and Chambers are all out in tonight's game. So 3 key injuries for the Phoenix Suns. They have been lacking motivation of late. Last night winning ugly in Sacramento. Against the Lakers early in the week, they had blown a 20-point lead. They were trailing by 3 with 11 seconds to go, and Dan Marley lofted the 3 to tie it. But that gave the ball to the Los Angeles Lakers, and time running down the final seconds. Lakers looking for the victory on the road. Anthony Peeler, turnaround, desperation, and he hits. Lakers by 2 with just seconds remaining. Dan Marley from 33 feet downtown and the win. So even though the Suns have been struggling of late, haven't found the motivation, hanging in long enough, and they're the kind of club that finds a way to win. It's the Phoenix Suns, the best team in the NBA, against the Nuggets tonight.
You're looking sharp. You've come so far, and we know how to make the most of who you are.
Only Gillette Sensor has spring-mounted twin blades that adjust to your face. A shave this close, this safe was never this easy. Sensor, and now there's Gillette Shaving Gel with advanced lubricants for an incredibly smooth shave.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
For all those people who feel most car payments are simply too big and too long, and who won't consider a lease because it leaves them with too little, the Colorado Pontiac Excitement Team presents the newest way to buy a car, Pontiac Smart Drive. For example, for only $225 a month, you can Smart Drive the Pontiac Grand Am SE Coupe. And the values are just as good on the Bonneville and Grand Prix. So come on, Smart Drive a Pontiac today.
They come from different cities, different states, different worlds. They're as different as the courts they learn to play on. They share almost nothing in common, except what it takes to make it to the highest court in the land, and what they'll wear when they get there. Champion is proud to be the official maker of all the uniforms for the NBA.
If you find the interest rate on your credit card to be rather high, you should know about Smart Rate from the Discover card. With Smart Rate, the more you choose the Discover card when making purchases, the lower your rate can be. And the Discover card still charges no annual fee. Now, doesn't that put everything in a whole new perspective? Smart Rate, currently as low as 14.9%. It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back.
You're watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
Every game has been sold out here at the America West Arena this year. This sellout number 36, over 19,000 on hand. And we are ready for the introductions of the two ball clubs. First, the Denver Nuggets. Let's go to the public address.
Chris Jackson. At guard from Temple, number 12, Mark Macon. At center from Georgetown, number 55, Dikembe Mutombo. At forward from Notre Dame, number 20, LaFonso Ellis. And at forward from Georgetown, number 34, Reggie Williams. Injured and not playing this evening for the Nuggets, Brian Stiff and Robert Burnett. Assistant coaches Lionel Hollins and Scotty Robertson. The trainer, Joe Muskie, and assistant trainer, Matt Anderson. On your feet, here's the starting lineup for your Phoenix Suns. At guard from Dayton, number 32, Nigel Wright. Guard from Central Michigan, number 9, Dan Marley. At center from Old Dominion, number 41, Mark West. At forward from Oklahoma State, number 21, Richard Dumas. And at forward from Auburn, number 34, Charles Barkley. Injured and not playing this evening for the Suns, Kevin Johnson and Cedric Ceballos.
You are looking at the best team in the NBA as we head towards the last couple of weeks of the season. Paul Westphal in his first year as a head coach after being the apprentice behind Cotton Fitzsimmons the last 4 years. And he is the players' coach. And he has led this team now to one victory away from the best team in Phoenix Suns history. They have tied the 57 wins of the 80-81 team in which Walter Davis starred along with the likes of Alvin Adams and Truck Robinson. And tonight, Walter Davis, what do you think the keys of the game are for the Denver Nuggets? And of course, the keys brought to you by your neighborhood Colorado Pontiac dealers.
Well, first of all, Al, the Nuggets got to get back in transition. The Phoenix Suns are shooting almost 50% for the season, and they like to get out and run and get some easy ones. So the Nuggets got to get back and defend. Secondly, they got to limit the Suns to one shot. On the offensive boards, defensive boards, just everything, just one shot. And thirdly, the Nuggets got to play their game. They can't get caught up in the Phoenix Suns. They got to concentrate on their game also.
And their game is a very different game than the last time Dan Issel and the Nuggets were here back in December 27th and suffered their worst defeat of the season by 41. There's a very different Denver Nugget club. Matter of fact, you're looking at two of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. The Nuggets have won 6 of the last 7. The Suns have won 9 in a row. But Phoenix having their difficulty, even though they have the win streak, but they just want to try to get the regular season over. They just can't wait for the playoffs to start. Charles Barkley, who has not burned the Nuggets yet this year, sinks the first shot, and he really creates the problem for Denver. Should they double team? And if they do, Barkley finds the open man, and the Suns, a great three-point shooting team. Matter of fact, this year they have taken 972 three-point shots. And before it's over, we'll probably rank second all-time in NBA history for most three-pointers. They have won 31 and lost only 4 on their home floor. All 4 losses coming to East Coast competition. Barkley, and there's their first 3 of the game. And it's Charles Barkley 5 and the Nuggets nothing.
Well, Charles Barkley gets in the game early. If the Nuggets get down, then Charles gets a little bored.
Jackson, nice move, fakes out Miguel Knight. Mutombo going over West, but West, who has the big body, corrals the rebound. Miguel Knight, he's been a forgotten man. He hasn't played in the last 6, but now is starting in the absence of Kevin Johnson. Ellis rips down the rebound, now looks for some help. Nuggets looking to get on track. Mark Macon making his 2nd straight start, takes it right at West and draws the foul. Mark West very foul prone, and Mark Macon knew it, took it right to him.
Well, this is a good play by Mark. What Mark does as he goes up, he jumps to his right a little bit, and that enables Mark West to get the blocking foul instead of the charging foul.
Mark Macon inserted in the starting lineup with the injury to Brian Stith. And you take a look at this Nugget club and how far they have come this year, and you insert a Mark Macon and a Brian Stith for the whole season, and you'd be looking at a playoff team.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Nuggets with so much to look forward to next year. Dan Issel wants to make sure, though, they finish strong. Remember last year, Nugget Club lost 13 of the last 14 games. Here's the steal by Jackson. Nuggets bust out 3-on-1. Jackson, the back pass to Macon. And the Nuggets get on the scoreboard.
Well, that was an excellent fast break that time. Chris Jackson just waited for Mark Macon to get in the picture, and it's easy when you have 2-on-1 like that and you move the ball.
Dan Marley, a fan favorite here in Phoenix, Mr. Clutch for this team. Richard Dumas stuffed by Reggie Williams. 6 seconds to shoot. And Marley loves those desperation shots, as you have seen already. Williams for 2. Reaching out is Mark West. The Suns out to a 7-2 lead, winning ugly last night in Sacramento. Fade away, Miguel Knight, and that is the first time he has scored in 7 games. Paul Westphal didn't want to disrupt the rotation. The veteran Frankie Johnson is the first guard who has been coming off the bench, and without Kevin Johnson playing, he wants Frankie Johnson still to come off the bench, and he's inserted Miguel Knight into the starting lineup.
Well, Frank Johnson is accustomed to that, and I think that's wise on Paul Westphal's part to try to keep the team comfortable in the way they've been playing pretty much all year. Frank Johnson, they call him Mr. Fourth Quarter.
Kevin Johnson is out, they say, because of a hamstring. They also don't want to insert Johnson. You know, he's missed 26 games because of injuries this year, and back-to-back situations. They're looking to give him a rest the last couple of weeks of the season. Dumas is certainly the hot rookie on this club, but Reggie Williams was right with him to stuff him. Dumas had 27 against the Nuggets the last time here to lead the Phoenix Suns, but he is coming back from injury. Barkley fakes that 3. He's being shadowed by LaFonso Ellis. West pours inside, and Barkley is all alone. No! Ripped down by Mutombo, who has risen to number 3 in the league in rebounding. He is on a tear. Macon pulls up, and there's Ellis over the back of Charles Barkley. And it's a 9-4 ball game. Nuggets want to get back into this one. Last time here it was 33-17 Suns in the first quarter, and that was it. Suns trying to bury the Nuggets early and feel that then they could coast. Dumas from Barkley. Richard Dumas just getting back. He was playing so splendidly when he sprained his ankle and missed 12 games. And Cedric Ceballos moved into the starting lineup. For the last 18 games, Ceballos has started, and the Suns are 16-2. Now he goes out with the injury, and Dumas gets a chance to get back in the starting lineup. Dikembe Mutombo buries the ball, and it's an 11-6 game.
Well, that was a good penetration by Mark Macon. Mark West came over to help. A little pass to Dikembe, and score, dunk.
Barkley wants to take it to Ellis. Mutombo helping out. Reggie Williams rubbing it up. He's looking for the alley-oop. LaFonso Ellis is there. And it's an 11-8 ball game. Ellis signaling to Reggie, pass me the ball. Harley, turnaround over Macon. Mutombo gets in, and it's ripped away by Reggie Williams. Here come the Nuggets, storming back. Williams coast to coast for the reverse. Jackson with the tip. Back the other way. Barkley with 2 Nuggets waiting for him. Goes behind the back tonight. He goes to Dumas, and Dumas is blocked again. This time by Mutombo. The Nuggets have been doing a fascinating job with block shots, leading the Western Conference in that category. Wide open, Williams, Macon, and West. Suns by 3. 5 minutes into the first quarter. Now the Nuggets running it. Dan Issel wants them to hustle every opportunity, get it into their pace. Macon fires one more time. He is way off the mark. Here's Barkley, but Ellis waiting for it. Barkley takes it to him. And Barkley is upset that he missed the layup and missed the opportunity of a three-point play. Timeout taken. A quick start in Phoenix.
45, eating 45 says, eating 46, but paying $4,700 for one time, young 47.
What'll it be, fellas?
Make it a Bud Light.
Sorry, this is the last one.
Well, I think I've been. I can take that one.
What do you want to give for it? I'm a 2 and a 10, give me 10, a 20 big, give me 20 now, 30, give me 30 now, 40 big, give me 40 now, 50, give me 50 now, 60 big, give me 60 now, 70, give me 70 now, 80.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Bud Light, please.
Sorry, boys. This is the last one.
Here on the set, when the lights come up and the camera starts to roll, there's no place to hide. And even one flake of dandruff, even one, can ruin it all. That's why I use Head & Shoulders. You know, it's even better than it was just a couple of years ago. Today's Head & Shoulders gets to 10 times more of the places dandruff starts. Put it to the test. Prove it to yourself. Head & Shoulders and Head & Shoulders 2-in-1. Because great hair can't have flakes.
Hi, I'm Dan Issel, and I have a message for all men over the age of 40. Have you been hearing a lot about prostate cancer lately and wishing there was a quick, easy way to find out if you're at risk? Well, now there is. Simply call the Urology Hotline at North Suburban Medical Center, formerly Humana Hospital Mountain View, to schedule a low-cost screening that involves a blood test and a physical examination of the prostate. That number is 450-3698. That's 450-3698. Do it today.
Welcome back to Phoenix, right here on Prime Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by your neighborhood Colorado Pontiac dealers. Sir Charles Barkley, the fourth leading scorer in the NBA at 26 points per ball game. He is sixth in rebounds at 12 per, and he has lit the fire under the Phoenix Suns in their new arena. New logo, new uniforms, new superstar, new coach, and they have the best record in the NBA, 57 wins, which ties the franchise record. Kevin Johnson, a little bit of a hamstring injury. He has been out 26 games this year because of hamstring and groin injuries, but I think this is more of a precaution. Want to rest him on the back end of back-to-back ball games.
Well, you remember the problems Michael Adams used to have with his hamstrings, and on those back-to-back games is when he usually would pull his.
Mark Macon is taking it to the hoop, and Macon has 4 points. The big rookie Oliver Miller from Arkansas, number 25, is inserted for Mark West. Downtown goes Dan Marley, his 135th three-pointer of the season in 376 attempts. 16-10, Phoenix. Mutombo tries to go to work, gets the double team, and draws the foul. And from behind, the rookie Oliver Miller is hit for his first personal foul.
Well, Dikembe feels like he can take Oliver Miller, but Richard Dumas comes in there, gives him a little help, and gets the foul.
Many people feel that Oliver Miller is a key for this Phoenix club into the playoffs. As you see the rise of Dikembe Mutombo, he's now tied with Olajuwon and Willis for number 3. Dikembe over the last 9 games really pouring it on. 15 rebounds a game, 18 points, 6 block shots. This, quite frankly, has been an all-pro month for Dikembe Mutombo, rising to another plane.
Well, Al, I think since Dikembe found out that his parents were okay, I think that's when he started playing much better.
16-11, the Nuggets by 5. Oliver Miller, who has always had weight problems through college, was over 300 pounds when he reported here. They say he's down to 285 right now, but he's seeing more and more time. And Phoenix knows once they get in the playoffs, it's going to be a little more physical inside, and they need an Oliver Miller. Chris Jackson brings it out. He's looking for his first points. The Nuggets' leading scorer. Being watched by Nigel Knight, who got a piece of that one. The Nuggets come into this game having won their last 2 on the road. That's the first time it's happened this year, winning in Sacramento the other night. And before that, their last road game was in Utah. A terrific victory at the Delta Center. 5.5 to go in this first quarter. Al Albert along with Walt Davis courtside in Phoenix. Macon really testing out that sore hand, but so far can't hit from the outside. Loose ball foul. And it is called on LaFonso Ellis. Now, LaFonso has the responsibility of guarding Charles Barkley, has to watch out for those loose ball fouls away from Sir Charles. So Dan Issel makes a change. Tommy Hammonds comes in, and Ellis goes out with the 2 fouls. Issel knows that if he stayed in there with Ellis, that this time down, Barkley go right at him.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that play would have come right up to go right at LaFonso Ellis.
Now it's Hammonds whose assignment is Barkley. Oliver Miller. Barkley's the open man for 3. Wide open. On the run. Reggie Williams takes it and gallops off. Macon again. Mark Macon trying to take over the offense. Still loose. And Jackson has it. 3-on-1. Hammonds back to Jackson, coast to coast. Beauty.
Yes, beautiful fast break. What made that happen was Tommy Hammonds got the ball right back in the middle. Chris Jackson had the option of going either way.
16-13. The Suns by 3. Their magic number to clinch the Pacific Division and the Western Conference is 2 over Seattle. Great touch pass, but Dumas a little long. So is Barkley. Mutombo puts it right into the hands of the Suns. Fingers pointing in all different directions. Even the referees were pointing in different directions, and it'll go back to Phoenix. The scowl on the face of Charles Barkley may be the ultimate in deciding where that went. Chris Jackson comes out, and Robert Pack makes his first appearance of the night. The Nuggets super sub. Barkley and Hammonds. Pack comes over. Barkley a man of many moves. Reggie Williams over the back of Richard Dumas, and Reggie has his first personal foul.
Well, Al, you see the problem Charles Barkley caused. He was double-teamed that time, and that leaves an extra man to go to the boards. And the Nuggets are going to have to be careful about that. They're going to have to make sure they block out, because Phoenix is going to crash the board every time they double Charles.
4 minutes left in this first quarter. Nuggets tomorrow night in Los Angeles against the Clippers. Another team ahead of them in the playoff race. Knight from 20. Mark Macon scoops it to Pack. Williams ahead of the Pack. Stuffs it home. Reggie Williams, that's his first field goal of the night. And the Nuggets are right in there. Remember the Suns playing without Cedric Ceballos. He led the Suns in scoring last night with 28 against Sacramento. Last play of the game, somebody stepped on his foot. Marley downtown one more time. Dan Marley has hit 2 3-pointers tonight.
Well, if he keeps this up, Al, it's going to be a new NBA record that Brian Shaw just established the other night.
Brian Shaw hit 10 3-pointers, breaking the old record of Michael Adams, Dale Ellis of 9 in a game. Robert Pack will have a couple of shots. Nigel Knight called for the foul. You know, Robert Pack has been to the foul line 294 times this year. Only Dikembe Mutombo has taken more foul shots than Pack this season. Marcus Liberty is back in. We say back because he missed the second half in Sacramento. He had sprained an ankle in the first half, so he'll test it out now. Robert Pack, no question, one of the big surprises for Dan Issel and the Nuggets this year, and he'll have to wait a moment for that second foul shot because a timeout has been taken with 3:22 left in the first.
With each new day, you find a way to be your best.
Gillette Sensor for the closest, safest shave ever.
You know you've got to be a little better than the rest.
Only Sensor has spring-mounted twin blades that adjust to every detail of every face. Gillette Sensor. And now there's Gillette Shaving Gel with advanced lubricants for an incredibly smooth shave.
Gillette, the best a man can get. Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. That's why I love Nestle Crunch Scrunches.
Hi everybody, I'm Ed Randall. Now in its 5th year, Talking Baseball is the nation's only year-round baseball talk show. We talk to the who's who of the sport. I hope you'll join me.
Ed Randall's Talking Baseball on PSN.
Dodge Dakota Sport with an optional 180 horsepower Magnum V6 out-accelerates Ford and Chevy compacts and does it for under 10 grand. Unquote. Dodge, the most powerful line of trucks anywhere.
Get $500 cash back on new Dodge Dakotas.
Welcome back to Phoenix. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by your neighborhood Colorado Pontiac dealers. And our congratulations to the Colorado Rockies. The most spectacular sporting event in Colorado history this afternoon. Mile High Stadium, 80,000 on hand. Great victory. And the first ever for the Colorado Rockies. And what an afternoon that was. Robert Pack completes the foul shots. The timeout was called. Dikembe Mutombo took a shot in the mouth that opened up his upper lip. But he is back in. There's the near steal by Robert Pack. And with 3:15 left in the first, Nuggets hustling, trailing the Suns by 2. Suns have not lost at home this year to a Western Conference team. 31 wins in 35 games. Their losses coming to Chicago, Cleveland, New Jersey, and Indiana. Barkley gets it back, trying to fake Mutombo. Upstairs goes Tommy Hammonds. Near loss of the ball, and it is off a Pack. So Tommy Hammonds not taking care of that pass.
Well, he was a little too careless, and Richard Dumas just stayed there, hung around, jumped in the passing lane. Got his hands on the ball just right here. You can see that. Just jumps in the passing lane off Robert Pack's knee.
And Robert Pack pushing Frankie Johnson on the inbounds. Pack nailed with his first personal foul. The Nuggets now with 14 fouls, coming down to 250 in the first quarter. Dumas wants the ball. He's looking for only his second field goal. And the whistle's toot again. Veteran crew, Jess Kersey, Steve Jabby, David Jones. And now the penalty is in play.
Well, Marcus has good defense right here, but when he makes a mistake, he reaches, gets nabbed with the foul. But if he had missed that foul, Richard Dumas had a wide open dunk. So Marcus got to put his body on Richard when he gets inside like that, or get some help.
What a story. Second round draft pick, 46th in the draft out of Oklahoma State. But Dumas, who spent 1 year playing in Israel, and then last year as a rookie was randomly checked and did not pass the drug test and was suspended for 1 year. Last year played for the CBA and also for John Lucas's team, the Miami Tropics. Returning this year and was one of the great surprises of the season. He's averaging 16 points per ball game. Mutombo over Miller. Dikembe Mutombo strikes from the outside. He has already broken the Nuggets single-season records this year for block shots and the other night rebounds, passing Cadillac Anderson's mark. Marley again, 3 for 3 from downtown, and he has a very efficient 11 points in the first quarter. Pack penetrates, and now it is Barkley weaving through traffic and setting up Dumas. Dumas can't find the hoop, really struggling tonight. The Nuggets bust back the other way. Mutombo gets rid of it. The big guy passes into the little guy.
Reverse those roles, but that was a good fake by Robert Pack to get Oliver Miller up in the air, too, to score those points.
Remember the game in Denver, Phoenix, and the Nuggets? Marley with Barkley ejected late in the second quarter. Marley, who had 7 points at halftime, ended up with 25. And he had 4 of 5 from downtown. This time it's Marley, very aggressive wherever he goes on the floor, has his first personal foul. And the 34-year-old Danny Ainge reports in for the first time.
Is that all Danny Ainge is, 34?
That's what he told me. He says, I'm not as old as Walt. So we kind of went with, we kind of agreed at 34.
No fair.
Dumas checks out 1 of 7 from the field for Dumas. Down to 1:20 remaining. Ainge also a 3-point threat. He's taken 336 from downtown and playing a larger role here in Phoenix than he did even last year in Portland when he was 33 years old. Frankie Johnson. Frankie Johnson, who played 7 years with Washington. The first-round draft pick out of Wake Forest, the last 3 years spent in Italy, and has found a home at the age of 35 here with the Suns. Packed from the outside. Inside 40 seconds in the first quarter. Marley and Barkley anchoring this Phoenix offense. Ainge has some room. Quick release by Ainge. Over the back of Mutombo, and the Suns lead is 6. Meanwhile, Lakers leading the Trailblazers at the Forum 25-22. Inside the last minute of the first quarter there. Hammonds drills it from the outside. Came off the bench against Sacramento. 7 of 9 from the field, 15 points with Liberty hurting. He got some playing time and took advantage. Last shot, got to watch out for Marley. Ainge with Mutombo coming out on him. Backdoor, Johnson, and he'll go to the line. 3-point opportunity with .7 on the clock.
Well, what makes this play happens here, Robert Pack is watching this action going up top, and Frank Johnson knows when your man turns your back on you, go to the hole. Danny Ainge, good passer, found him wide open.
Mutombo making sure Phoenix doesn't add any more. And that ends the first quarter of play. Dan Issel not particularly upset. It's a 6-point Sun lead.
You are watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
Where the hype ends, the real story of sports begins.
I took the growth hormone. It may cost me my life.
Now Time Life Video brings you blood, sweat, and glory. A heart-pumping look inside the minds of the athletes who live and die to win. Your first video, For the Thrill of It, takes you on a bone-rattling run down skiing's most dangerous downhill course and into thin air with those who live to cheat death one last time. Other videos give you an insider's look at sport's greatest moments and show you the fine line that separates competition from all-out warfare. Call this toll-free number now to order For the Thrill of It for just $9.99. Other videos will arrive at the regular price, but there's no commitment to buy.
I am the greatest.
Call now.
Call 1-800-253-8665 or send $9.99 plus $3.23 shipping and handling to Blood, Sweat, and Glory, Grand Central Station, P.O. Box 5294, Department B-474, New York, New York, 10163.
For all those people who feel most car payments are simply too big and too long, and who won't consider a lease because it leaves them with too little, the Colorado Pontiac Excitement Team presents the newest way to buy a car, Pontiac Smart Drive. For example, for only $225 a month, you can smart drive the Pontiac Grand Am SE Coupe. And the values are just as good on the Bonneville and Grand Prix. So come on, smart drive a Pontiac today.
Denver Nuggets basketball on Prime Sports Network is brought to you in part by your neighborhood Colorado Pontiac dealers. Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you, friends know when to say when. And by Wendy's, the best hamburgers in the business.
The next Dan Issel Show here on Prime Sports following a Nuggets broadcast will be following the final game of the season against these Phoenix Suns. Dan, along with Drew Goodman, will be able to wrap up the season, look ahead to next year. So the Dan Issel Show exclusively here on Prime Sports Network. Right now, Dan Issel watching his Nuggets scrapping back in this one after it appeared as if the Suns could pull away early in the first quarter. And look at this, Kevin Brooks, who's played only twice over the course of the last 14 games, gets some early time. Alfonso Ellis with the 2 fouls remains in there. Charles Barkley and Dan Marley have gone all the way for the Suns. Frankie Johnson directing traffic. Remember his brother Eddie Johnson, who used to play for the Atlanta Hawks. No look to Mark West, who goes sailing inside. 31-23, the Suns by 8. The Nuggets not only have won their last 2 road games, they've split their last 6 games on the road and splitting the twine. Marcus Liberty from deep. Ainge. West is one man who won't shoot the 3. Again, it's Hammonds on Barkley. Ellis is now guarding West. Mutombo getting a rest. Frankie Johnson. He averages 4 a game. He already has 6. 33-25. Suns by 8. The Nuggets now from the outside. Suns in that first quarter hit only 11 of their 29 shots. And still led by 6. Johnson has several Nuggets following him. Here's Marley. He's hit 3 threes already. Avoids the contact, no. He was hoping he would because he wanted to actually get the shot off.
Oh, yes.
Second foul on Robert Pack. And he will be leaving in favor of Chris Jackson.
Well, what the Suns do, they do a good job of spotting up and looking for each other. They had to run out there because Dan Mahler's already hit 3 3-pointers, so they had to rush out. Dan knew that, got a foul.
West takes it inside on Ellis. Chris Jackson bouncing into the forecourt. Ellis has the quickness, but Hammonds has the shot.
Well, Tommy Hammonds is shooting with confidence tonight.
Well, you've seen this earlier in the season. He went through a stretch where he's shooting around 70% from the field. He's hit all 3 shots tonight. That's on West. They don't call the elbow. Instead, they call the travel. So Mark West gets a little bit of a break.
Yeah, Jess Kersey had his choice of calls that time.
Well, multiple choice.
Yes.
2 minutes into the second quarter. Nuggets a chance now to move to within 2. Nuggets playing without Brian Stiff. He's out for the rest of the season. Oh, that should be a foul on Frankie Johnson. Almost ground Kevin Brooks into the floor. Just over the top. So Johnson has the foul. Nuggets have the ball. Liberty guarded by the smaller Danny Ainge. Ellis likes the matchup, goes outside, and the Nuggets are right hot from the outside and have moved to within 2. The pick and roll, and it rolls off the rim. Off the hands of West. Nuggets with the ball, says David Jones, but Jess Kersey overrules. Who does it hit last? They say Chris Jackson.
Yes.
Charles Barkley will get his first rest, replaced by Richard Dumas. Barkley goes out with 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Marley again. And finally misses from downtown. And it gives the Nuggets an opportunity to knot this game up. Ellis flying. Swish. 8 points now for LaFonso Ellis. And the Nuggets have scored, I believe it's 8 in a row. Yep, 8 straight for the Nuggets to tie it. Again, the bruising move by Mark West, and this time he's called for the foul. It is number 2 on West. He'll be coming out. Paul Westphal has seen this coming with his Phoenix Sun club. Said they're just trying to get over this regular season, get to the playoffs.
Yes.
And now hit with a rash of injuries with Sabalas and Kevin Johnson out along with Tom Chambers.
Well, what they were trying to do is pick up that 3rd foul on LaFonso Ellis.
This one is blown down, and the fouls are now coming hot and heavy. Marcus Liberty is called for his 2nd. Nuggets trying to get the pace of this game going, but the foul's actually slowing them down. Several Nuggets fouled Dumas in his route towards the hoop. Oliver Miller showing some nice moves. Suns back by 2. Magic number for the Suns to clinch the home court throughout the playoffs is 4 against the Knicks. And that should be no problem. Phoenix with the 10 games to go. Ainge for 3.
Well, this is one of the things that the Nuggets were afraid of, and that was Danny Ainge, Dan Marley hitting those 3-point shots, get the fans involved, and just open up everything on the inside.
And that's foul number 3 on Marcus Liberty. The basket does not count. This is the 5th 3-pointer of the night for Phoenix, and there Ainge just getting his footing, and he is drilled by Liberty.
Danny Ainge, I played with him in Portland, and he plays hard. Every minute he's out there. He's a great guy and looks to pass the ball, and he's an excellent shooter too.
Suns looking for the 3-pointer, and then Marley walks right in. 13 for Marley. Nuggets scored 8 straight points to tie it. The Suns have bounced back with 7 straight to open it up. 7.5 to go in the 2nd quarter. No more smiles and applause from the coach. Timeout in Phoenix.
We know, we see all the men you have to be, just how much you give, all the lives you live.
From Gillette Sensor Technology comes the Gillette Series, shaving, aftershave, and deodorant products to help a man look, feel, and be his best.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
The Gillette Series with Gillette Sensor, it's redefining men's grooming.
Dave Thomas is making a new chicken sandwich for his favorite customer, his daughter Wendy. Introducing Wendy's Monterey Ranch Chicken, a whole breast filet topped with cheese, but not just any cheese, Monterey Jack. Then he whipped up her favorite dressing, creamy ranch loaded with bacon. It was so good, he kind of hated to give it away.
Wendy, it's ready. Oh well, I guess I'll have to eat it myself.
Try Wendy's new Monterey Ranch Chicken sandwich.
Dad, is it ready yet?
I'm LaFonso Ellis, and when I want the right stuff, I go to the Nuggets locker room. They've got Nugget stuff, NBA stuff, NFL stuff, Major League Baseball stuff, NCAA stuff, big stuff, even little stuff. So come on down to the Nuggets locker room and check out what we've got on hangers and what we've got in drawers.
Get the right stuff at the Nuggets locker room on the 16th Street Mall, right across from Madian Ave.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by North Suburban Medical Center, quality's new name in healthcare. Suns with a run. And lead by 7. Mark Macon reinserted. It's Macon and Jackson along with Mutombo, Ellis, and Brooks. Jackson for 2. Rammed in by Ellis. Impressive on the boards. He has one more shot at it, but from behind, hammered by Richard Dumas. LaFonso Ellis scrapping away on the boards. Will now get a couple from the foul line.
Well, that was just good play. Chris Jackson, they got to get him involved in this game. But the Nuggets on the boards that time. And LaFonso Ellis gets 1 offensive rebound, 2 tips. Dikembe gets his hand on it.
Well, you know who they call the foul on? Danny Ainge.
They did.
Reaching in.
Well, Dan was a little upset with the team. They let Marley just throw right down the middle for that layup. He immediately called timeout. And they don't want a steady diet of that.
Nuggets opening this 4-game road trip Tuesday in Sacramento with a 101-100 victory over the Kings. They've had a couple of days off here in Phoenix. Teams sometimes fear that. You get into a city, especially a beautiful city like Phoenix, the sun is shining and you're relaxed and kind of takes you out of what you've been doing.
We used to use that as our advantage, like use the Mile High City in basketball.
You'd want teams to come in a few days in advance.
Oh, yeah.
Ainge fading away, and Brooks goes upstairs. This is the first meaningful insertion in the lineup for Kevin Brooks in a long time. Making an appearance in the first half. Mutombo. Well, Dan Issel knows his team has an outside shot at the playoffs, although slim. And with 9 games to go, he also has to start looking ahead to some decisions he has to make for next year. And Kevin Brooks probably will see a little more playing time the last 9 games. Robert Wourdan, who comes off the injured list tomorrow, he's on this trip, probably will see some time. And now Dikembe Mutombo, one of the iron horses of the Nuggets, hobbling to the bench. Mutombo, along with Ellis and Robert Pack, have played all 72 games this year, 73 games. There was the move by Dikembe, and it comes hobbling away.
Yeah, one of the most common things in basketball is to bump knees with a defender, and that really hurts Al.
And it also hurt Dikembe. So Dan Issel will put Scott Hastings in, but he'll have to wait. Mutombo stays on the floor. We have 6:38 left in the second quarter. A whistle inside, and it's another one on LaFonso Ellis. So Ellis gets his 3rd. Hastings comes in, looks back, wondering if he's still replacing Mutombo or if he's going to replace Ellis. He goes in for the big guy. Dikembe comes out with 7 points and 4 rebounds. So Hammonds now is in for LaFonso Ellis. So Ellis takes himself out after a big start. 10 points in the first half for Ellis. 6 rebounds. Macon hounding Ainge. Dumas goes to work on Hammonds. That's the 3rd time tonight that Dumas has been rejected. Making the back pass, Brooks. And those are the shots Kevin Brooks has to show his coach that he's going to make. If he's thinking about next year.
Yes, that's nice in the lane or a little 5-6 footer, and you got to nail those.
The tough thing for Kevin Brooks is he now has to get back into the rhythm of playing in the game.
Yes, yeah, you got to get some time back. It's a little different in practice.
Hammonds has it rejected. Hastings, the reverse. Scott with the flip.
Well, that's a very smart play. Scott Hastings knew if he put it back on the other side, Oliver Miller had a chance to block it, so he used the rim as a defender.
And now the Nuggets bounce back with 6 in a row. I think Marley's a little too close to the basket for him to make that shot.
Yes, he didn't know whether to bank that one or shoot it straight in.
The Blazers have moved in front of the Lakers 41-34. 5 minutes into the second quarter in LA. Great pass by Hastings. And this foul is on Richard Dumas. Charles Barkley back in. And Richard Dumas really struggling. Head down as he goes to the bench. Mark Macon hits the first of 2 foul shots. He had missed 2 earlier. And some ice now on that knee of Mutombo's, which collided with Oliver Miller. 6 points for Macon. Second straight start in the absence of Brian Stith. Macon started Tuesday against Sacramento. This is his 4th game back after the injury. Barkley in a crowd. The double team by Chris Jackson, and Jackson is called for the foul. Yes, you, says the official.
Well, I think what the Nuggets are doing, when Charles Barkley puts it down one time, they're going to come, but Chris Jackson's got to come very aggressively. Barkley's going to try to step through that double team to score, and that's exactly what he did.
And over the last 6 years in the NBA, Jordan, Wilkins, Malone, and Barkley are exactly 1, 2, 3, 4 over the course of that time. And that's what they are this year in the scoring race. Michael Jordan on his way to his 7th straight to tie Wilt Chamberlain. Great move by Jackson. Sets it up for Hammonds. So Tommy Hammonds off the bench has hit 4 of his 5 shots, and he has 8 points. Second to LaFonso Ellison scoring for the Nuggets tonight. Williams and Jackson each with 2 apiece. And what a start for Frankie Johnson. 8 points in the first half. Kevin Johnson is out, being rested with a sore hamstring, or maybe just being rested in a back-to-back situation for the Suns. And Frankie Johnson coming off the bench. Reggie Williams stays with it.
Well, that was a great heads-up play by Reggie. He was a little off balance on the initial shot, but he stayed right with it, got the offensive board, and put it right back in.
And the Nuggets staying right with it. They fell behind by 7 moments ago. They've made it up, but Barkley lifts off. A quiet dozen for Charles Barkley. You know, in the first game against the Nuggets, he was ejected late in the second quarter. He only played 17 minutes of that game, but he scored 17 points. Barkley raises his hand. He confesses.
Flagrant call. I think Charles was a little upset about on that dunk on the other end he got, that Scott Hastings tried to hit him or undercut him.
So Hastings goes to the line. It's not a technical. You may be wondering, why isn't Chris Jackson taking those shots? But it was the flagrant foul on Hastings, so he gets the 2, and the players are not on the lane because the Nuggets will have the ball out after the foul. And there you see Scott Hastings going underneath Barkley. He thought he was undercut, so it was a payback on the other end. But the Nuggets may get the last laugh if Hammonds hits. Williams, nice job to body Marley, but now he's sandwiched and loses it. A technical on Reggie Williams, who complains to Jess Kersey. Dan Issel coming to the aid of his player, arguing that that was a pretty quick tee. Reggie, you know, has that short fuse, and with certain officials, he has built up a reputation over the years, so Kersey hammers him quickly.
Oh, yes.
Two-point lead for the Suns. They have lost only 4 times at home this year, and not once to a Western Conference team. Nuggets trying to pull off the upset here tonight and really get serious about a playoff shot. If they win tonight, the Lakers so far losing at home to Portland tonight, Nuggets would be within a game and a half of the Los Angeles Lakers. And the unthinkable is something we may start having to think about. Of course, the team that finishes in 8th spot in the West, first round, would face these Phoenix Suns. They're just waiting and gearing to get into the playoffs. Even the players said that now they're kind of going through the motions. They've just about clinched everything. Oliver Miller.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the players are trying to stay healthy too. Right. They're not going hard, but you want to go into the playoffs playing good, excellent basketball, because it's a different story in the playoffs.
Now you watch Dan Marley tonight, and it's hard to convince that he's not playing hard.
Dan Marley plays hard all 48 minutes.
Barkley for 3. Ripped down by Mutombo. The outlet to Reggie Williams. Crowd wanted to travel. Miller into the hands of Barkley. Barkley looks small next to Oliver Miller. Ainge. Jackson with a steal. Miller is waiting for it. Pulls up for the jumper. And Hammonds runs his own man down. So an over-enthusiastic Tom Hammonds. And it's a turnover to Phoenix.
Lisa's great, but there's something about Sharon. Sharon's okay, but Lisa, whew, what a knockout.
Why is the grass always greener on the other side?
You lucky dog. Lucky dog.
Why ask why? Try a less filling beer with a lot more taste. Bud Dry. It's one thing.
Nice.
That's beyond question.
All over America, a new idea is taking root. It doesn't make sense to pay the price of other luxury hotels when you can get all the same great things at a DoubleTree and still be everywhere you want to be. DoubleTree Hotels. It's a smart call.
Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. That's why I love Nestle Crunch Scrunches.
English soccer every week on PSN.
Reggie Williams trying to fight his way out of a mini slump. He's only averaged 10 points a game over the last 3. And here making a move against Marley, the twister, with Ainge helping out. And Reggie Williams, who has a nose for the hoop, follows it up. And that's only his second field goal in 9 attempts. 4 points tonight for Reggie Williams. Chris Jackson also struggling. He's missed 6 of his 7 shots. But regardless, Nuggets hanging right in there. Denver doing the job on the boards as they have been doing this year. They're one of the top rebounding teams in the league. Barkley and Hammonds. This is their 6th of the night. Second for Danny Ainge. Threesville for the Suns.
Well, the Suns do an excellent job of spotting up. Charles Barkley knows where they are. He can see them in his vision. So they got a good job of doing it also with his passes.
Off the foot, so the ball will go back to the Phoenix Suns. And when Barkley gets double teamed, he has a choice. He got either Ainge or Marley just sitting out there waiting.
And if you run it one, they're going to pass it to the other. They're an excellent passing team. They look for each other.
Blazers now lead the Lakers by 10 with 4 minutes left in the half at the Forum. Miguel Knight, and it's swiped down by Hammonds. Jackson and Pack sharing the backcourt duties for the Nuggets with Mutombo, Hammonds, and Williams up front. Alfonso Ellis, big first half with 10 points, but also picked up 3 personal fouls. Jackson, they say for 2. It goes. And it is a 5-point ball game. Phoenix with the ball in the lead. Suns have won 9 in a row. Earlier in the season, they won 14 straight. Amazing thing about this latest win streak, 6 of the wins have come on the road. Forced by Barkley. Mutombo finds the open man. Pack pushing the pace. Almost swiping was Miguel Knight. Gets his 2nd personal foul. Miguel Knight, who was in the starting lineup early in the season when Kevin Johnson missed the first few weeks because of hamstring and groin injury. Miguel Knight thought he had all ball and has a good argument there. But instead, Robert Pack to the foul line. Scored the winning basket against Sacramento Tuesday night, even though that hoop came with 1:10 still left in the game. Nobody scored after that, but that one stood up there. And there are the injured Sabalas on the left, Kevin Johnson, Gerard Mustaf. We don't see Tom Chambers, who is also out. Technical foul has been called on Charles Barkley, who apparently is starting to yap a little bit too much for the referees. So he gets the tee. Jackson, who had 5 technical foul shots against Sacramento Tuesday, and now with this foul shot has made 43 in a row.
Well, early out they showed the picture of the 3 players, and the reason you didn't see Tom Chambers there is because he has on a polo shirt and jeans. These guys has on suits, so they said he couldn't sit with
That's the GQ section of the bench.
Yes.
I think there's less players with uniforms sitting on that Phoenix bench right now, and there is he looks like he just got off the golf course. A veteran Phoenix player, Lionel Hollins, assistant coach, right there.
Sunflower seeds.
Looks like a bullpen. I don't know, you can have sunflower seeds in basketball. No sunflower seeds in basketball. That was for the tie. Phoenix holds on with the lead and the ball. Final minute of play. Barkley gets the rebound away from Mutombo.
Charles Barkley just has great timing. For someone 6'5", there's no way he should have gotten that rebound from Dikembe.
So Phoenix will hold on to the lead, going to the locker room, looking to extend it now. Last shot of the first half. Knight over Mutombo. 1 second, Pack will let it fly. He's hit one like this before. And that ends the first half of play. So Dan Issel has his young Nugget club, a team that lost by 41 to the Suns last time in, to within 2 at halftime. It's Phoenix 53 and the Nuggets 51 after 2 periods of play in Phoenix.
Introducing a revolutionary new form of antiperspirant protection. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. Because it's a clear, clean, powerful gel, it goes on smoothly with no white residue to form an invisible barrier of protection. All-day protection against both wetness and odor. New Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. One of the advanced deodorants and antiperspirants in the Gillette series. Quote, a Dodge Ram pickup with a Magnum Cummins diesel has the power to out-torque, out-pull, just flat-out work Ford and Chevy diesels. Unquote. Dodge, the most powerful line of trucks anywhere.
Now get $500 cash back on regular cab Dodge Ram Cummins diesel pickups.
They come from different cities, different states, different worlds. They're as different as the courts they learn to play on. They share almost nothing in common, except what it takes to make it to the highest court in the land, and what they'll wear when they get there. Champion is proud to be the official maker of all the uniforms for the NBA.
Manning against Ellis. Blocked by Mutombo. 1 second. Jackson for the game.
If you haven't seen the new Nuggets lately, call 893-6700.
You are watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona, the Valley of the Sun, and the sun has been shining on the Phoenix Suns this year. 57 victories against just 15 defeats, 1 more win, and it's the all-time franchise record. And Walter Davis, you were on the 1980-81 team that also won 57 games, lost 25 that year. How would you compare these two teams?
Well, I don't see any similarities at all. This team here that the Suns have is much deeper than our team. We didn't rotate our lineup the way Paul Westphal can do this team, and we didn't have that many injuries. And it remains to be seen. We won the Pacific Division, but we lost in the first round of the playoffs to the Kansas City Kings, and they didn't have any of their best players. So that's pretty much the only similarity. It's just that Phoenix is a much deeper team, and they're going to have a much better record than we had, too.
You think you might have been able to find a spot on this club?
I think I could have played. A young Walter Davis could have played. Not now.
Let's take a look at the highlight of the first half in this one. Brought to you by Old Spice. It puts the wind in your sails. Yeah, this is the play of the first half. The Nuggets on the move at their best. When they push the pace, Robert Pack finds Reggie Williams sliding in, and he slams it home. And that is the Old Spice play of the first half. And the Nuggets on the road to within 2 against the team with the best record in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns.
You are watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
No one has money to burn, especially not today.
Right after it was a year, the defroster thing went on it.
The car was very good for the first 40 or 50,000 miles, and since then I've really had a lot of trouble.
That's where Consumer Reports comes in. It can save you hundreds or thousands of dollars on stereo systems, microwave ovens, or minivans. Hi, I'm Bob Knoll, head of auto testing for Consumer Reports, the magazine that works for you. We can show you how you could save $2,000 or more on car insurance, how you could save $3,000 next time you buy a new car.
It's one of the very few objective sources of information you can get.
Everybody needs an edge. Call now for your trial issue of Consumer Reports. If you like it, you'll get 12 more issues, including the 1993 buying guide, all for just $22. Or write cancel on the bill, return it, and owe nothing. You'll also get the 1992 buying guide free with your paid subscription.
So call for your trial issue now.
Call 1-800-253-8665.
Why is it always the same old story? Why ask why? Try a less filling beer with a lot more taste. Bud Dry. When it comes to a great beer, we wrote the book.
Denver Nuggets basketball. Mile High Hoops. The sky is the limit. The Nuggets are running and gunning again. Pushing to be the best in the West and put the rest of the NBA to the test. Mile High Fever is catching. Rocky Mountain Madness. These Nuggets are golden.
Denver and San Antonio. Live Thursday, April 22nd on PSN.
Welcome back to Phoenix. The Nuggets trailing the Phoenix Suns by 2. The Nuggets right now in that 9th spot in the Western Conference, in the 8th spot for the final playoff spot. The Los Angeles Lakers just 2.5 games ahead of the Nuggets. The Lakers tonight at home against Portland. The Lakers were down by 10 in the first half. AC Green just fell out of bounds to hit a three-pointer at the end of the first half, and the Lakers are within 1 at halftime. Magic number is 7. Nugget young players now, whether they make it or not, if they don't catch the Lakers, and it's a remote possibility, but still now have a little bit of a feel actually of being in some kind of a playoff race.
Well, Al, it's springtime now, and everybody's have more energy. The cold weather's gone, and I think our players are really thinking about it, to do something like that, making the playoffs when no one expected them not to even win 24 games like we did last year. So I think that would be a great feather in their hat to make the playoffs.
Right now, 2.5 games, but the Lakers have the tie-break. But if the Lakers lose tonight and the Nuggets should win, then all of a sudden you really seriously could start talking about a dramatic playoff drive in the last 2 weeks.
Yes, those two things have to happen tonight.
So this is a key evening as far as the Nuggets are concerned. Any kind of hopes really for a playoff spot. Right now it's time to send some trivia your way. It's brought to you by the Discovery Card. Pays to discover the card that pays you back. We're in the land of the sun, and we have a question about the Suns and baseball. What Phoenix Sun had a 2-year Major League Baseball career with the Toronto Blue Jays? And Walter is raising his hand. He knows it. We'll give you the answer when we return.
Consider the interest you're paying on your credit card. Thanks to Smart Rate from the Discover card, there's a chance to go lower. Now, the more you choose the Discover card when making purchases, the lower your rate can go. And since there's still no annual fee, that's a whole new bottom line. Smart Rate, currently as low as 14.9%. It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back.
Since your face can't adjust to your razor should adjust to your face, which is exactly why we designed the Schick Tracer. The Schick Tracer is the only razor with blades that bend and flex to the unique shape of your face. So the Tracer gets in close for a clean, comfortable shave. And since you can't change your face, maybe you should change your razor. Schick, we're changing the face of shaving.
They come from different cities, different states, different worlds. They're as different as the courts they learn to play on. They share almost nothing in common, except what it takes to make it to the highest court in the land, and what they'll wear when they get there. Champion is proud to be the official maker of all the uniforms for the NBA.
Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. That's why I love Nestle Crunch Scrunches.
Pro tennis is booming, and one show puts you at center court with the hottest players on the circuit. From the incredible shots to inside interviews, you'll get it all on the IBM ATP Tour Magazine. Every week on PSN.
The Discover Trivia question once again. What Phoenix Sun had a 2-year Major League Baseball career, if you could call 2 years a career, with the Toronto Blue Jays. Walt knew that one. Charles Barkley. No, Danny Ainge, who wishes his batting average was as high as his three-point shooting average. You know, his three-point shooting is 420 or 42%, 420. And in 2 years, he was a slick fielder, but hit 220 in 2 seasons for the Toronto Blue Jays. And that's a trivia question brought to you by the Discover card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. And know your stuff about basketball trivia. Halftime statistics. As you can see, the shooting not representative of the 89-degree heat outside. Cold shooting by both clubs. Nuggets, though, doing it from the foul line, have 6 extra points, but the Suns racking up the extra points from downtown. Let me make one correction. That last three-pointer by Danny Ainge, they changed it to a 2-pointer, so the Suns are 5 of 8 from downtown, but still 15 points from Threesville tonight for Phoenix. Nuggets, as usual, doing the job on the boards with 30 rebounds, led by Ellis, Mutombo, and Williams, each with 6, but also off the bench, Tommy Hammonds has 7 rebounds. Nuggets, great job handling the basketball, only 5 turnovers in the first half. Dan Issel utilizing the bench, 19 points from each bench, and Denver working that ball around. 17 assists for the Nuggets on their 20 field goals, and that is an extraordinary percentage in the first half. So those are the stats in the first half of play, and when you add them all up, those are the numbers you get. The Suns 53, the Nuggets 51.
It's only natural that children look to their parents for answers. So to help you explain why some things that may be fine for adults aren't right for children, Anheuser-Busch offers Family Talk, free advice from professionals to use with your kids while they're still learning to be grown up. And their favorite teacher is you. Let's stop underage drinking before it starts.
This quality adjustable bed costs 50% less than these 3 quality flat beds. 50% less. Yet Craftmatic offers these advantages over flatbeds. First, it adjusts electrically at the touch of a button, so you can read in bed, watch TV in bed, snack, chat on the phone, do a crossword puzzle, and relax and sleep in wonderful comfort. Plus, if you suffer from low back pain or edema or swelling of the legs, unlike any ordinary flatbed, an adjustable bed may temporarily provide relief. Call toll-free to receive this free adjustable bed catalog by mail. Get the facts about the adjustable bed that costs 50% less than all 3 of these quality flatbeds. 50% less. Call for your free catalog now.
Call toll-free 1-800-BED-9113. That's 1-800-BED-9113. Call toll-free 1-800-BED-9113. Denver Nuggets basketball. From here, it only gets better. Taking it to the NBA and stopping them short at the other end. Mile High Hoops. Nuggets basketball. Golden. Bigot all season on PSA. Yeah.
You're watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
Denver Nuggets basketball is brought to you by your Colorado Lexus dealers. Test drive the new 1993 LS400 today at Cooney and Stevenson Lexus. And by Schick Tracer, the only razor that flexes to trace every curve on your face.
Let's check out the Wendy's NBA scoreboard. Detroit, a big victory in Boston tonight. Detroit battling for that last playoff spot in the East. Came into tonight's game and a half behind Charlotte, Indiana. Chicago is down by 17 in the fourth quarter. Pippen at a three-pointer with 15 seconds left to nail the victory. Chicago over Atlanta. Also tonight, Cleveland behind 28 points by Brad Daugherty, beating Washington, and Charlotte morning at 33 in the victory against Philadelphia. Other games, Orlando on a three-pointer with 2 seconds left off the fingertips of Nick Anderson beat Minnesota, and it's Seattle leading Sacramento in the third quarter. And the all-important game as far as the Nuggets are concerned, Lakers are trailing Portland, but the Lakers were down by 10 in that second period and hustled back. Dan Issel's Nuggets with the ball to start this third quarter, trailing by 2. Denver making perhaps a dramatic push at the playoffs this year. 2.5 games behind the Lakers, who are in that last playoff spot. Reggie Williams starts it off after a cold shooting 2 of 9 first half. The Nuggets have knotted it, and Barkley goes to work. Rejected by Mutombo. The Nuggets have been incredible on the boards of late. About 10 block shots a game over the course of the last 9 or 10. And Denver gets the ball back. Nuggets trying to pull off a big surprise here in Phoenix tonight.
Well, Mark West gets a good offensive rebound. Usually Mark West tries to dunk these. If he tries to do that, Dikembe has enough time to get up there and block it.
That's the 6th block shot for the Nuggets tonight. 3 by Mutombo. Jackson nails it from the outside. Chris Jackson in that first half had hit 2 of 8. So the 2 cold shooters, Jackson and Williams, each start off with hoops for Denver. David Jones calls the foul inside, and it's on Reggie Williams. Williams socked with his 2nd personal foul, and in the meantime, Charles Barkley checking out his arm socket. Ellis is in there. He's playing with the 3 fouls. The double team, Chris Jackson helping out. Barkley looking to sort out the basketball. Miguel Knight wide open, foul line jumper. It's off of Dumas and out of bounds. Miguel Knight inserted in the starting lineup, having not played in the last 6 games, coach's decision. And he has missed 5 of his 6 shots this evening. Paul Westphal deciding to move the veteran Frankie Johnson ahead of Knight That's when he had Kevin Johnson in the lineup. Jackson beats Knight, who then steals it. Busting out 4-on-2. Knight can't distribute it. And was out of bounds. So this is becoming a nightmare for Nagel.
Well, I'm sure Nagel's timing, since he hadn't played in so long, he only plays if Kevin Johnson's out. His timing is a little off also.
He's the designated starter. Otherwise, he doesn't see any minutes.
I know. It's unbelievable.
Nuggets have taken the lead here in Phoenix and have really silenced the sellout crowd of over 19,000. Jackson on the arm was Nagel Knight. And Knight has his third personal foul. So this sends Chris Jackson to the foul line. Jackson has now made 43 straight. The Nuggets record is 63 in a row from the foul line, held by Chris's coach, Dan Issel. And Chris just talking so casual at the line. He's in stride. At LSU, he used to go to the line and practice at 280 in a row, and it's part of his game. Sinking one after another. Second leading foul shooter in the NBA at 93%.
Well, Chris has always been up there, but the first 2 years he didn't get enough attempts to be in the running.
This one's on Mark Macon. Macon's first personal foul. Chris is just wondering in the last 9 games if he gets to the foul line enough to approach Dan Issel's record. You know, Mark Price, who leads the NBA this year, had a run of 77 straight, one shy of the all-time mark set by Calvin Murphy of 78 foul shots in a row. And then Price missed the 78th. Cleveland got the rebound, kicked it out to Price, who then hit a three-pointer. And, you know, since he missed that, he's made about 17, 18 in a row.
Yes, yes.
Sounds a little like Joe DiMaggio when his hitting streak was snapped at 56. Then he went on after that to hit safely in I think it was 17, 18 in a row. After Ken Keltner of the Indians stopped him. Nuggets by 2. Fadeaway, Macon. 2 minutes into the second half in Phoenix. The Suns have won 9 straight. They've won 17 of the last 19 and consider themselves coasting. 3-on-1. Macon makes it a 1-on-0. The Denver Nuggets have taken a 4-point lead. And the crowd getting very antsy. The Suns way in front of everybody in the NBA. Marley brings them back. When they need it, there's always Dan Marley.
Well, the Nuggets got caught that time trapping and double team, and like I said before, first half, this team spots up very well, and they look for each other.
Marley has made 6 field goals tonight, 4 from three-point land. Jackson flicks the rest. Got it. Double figures for Chris Jackson. In 23 against Sacramento, 24 against Minnesota. Before that, Nagel Knight splits down the lane, knocked away by Mutombo. Barkley. Mutombo gets shoved, and David Jones found the culprit. Mark West, third personal foul. And Mutombo tonight has had a rough evening. He's got hit in the mouth, now in the neck. Here's the contact inside. Check lower left. Mutombo took the shot. And the foul on West. Reggie Williams pulls the trigger. Got it. So Williams and Jackson have come out shooting in the second half. And the Nuggets have built up their biggest lead. I wonder if Westphal will suit up Kevin Johnson for the second half. Barkley. It counts. And the foul. Nuggets just hoping it's not on Ellis.
Well, once again, I think the Nuggets are going to go trap when Charles Barkley puts it down, but Chris Jackson has got to come very strong and cut off that middle. Because Charles Barkley is going to step through.
So Barkley for the three-point play. I believe the foul was on Chris Jackson. And this is his second. All the way goes Reggie Williams. Upstairs, Ellis. Impressive. LaFonso Ellis, this is for 3. Another rebound by the Nuggets. Dumas rips it away. Dumas has been invisible on the offensive end. Thunder Marley loses to Jackson. 2 men back for the Suns. The follow is by Williams, and Reggie Williams is nailed for the offensive foul. Was Reggie Williams out of control?
Well, what he wanted to do, Al, was kind of jump to his left a little bit to avoid that contact, but Dan Marley was right there on his heels and wasn't able to do it.
Williams can't complain. Remember, he has the 1-T already. Legal defense is called on the Nuggets to Kembe Mutombo. You see what Westphal is doing. He's bringing Mark West way outside to get Mutombo away from the basket so he can't double on Barkley inside. There it is again. West is way outside, and they may call it again. No, this is a foul, and it's on LaFonso Ellis. So Ellis has his 4th personal foul, and he will be lifted. 12 points, 8 boards for LaFonso. Tommy Hammonds is back in. Reggie Williams is the high rebounder for the Nuggets now with 9. Dumas can't find his shot tonight. 1 of 10 from the field. Miguel Knight found it that time, and it's a 1-point lead for the Nuggets.
Well, the Nuggets can do themselves a big favor. Phoenix is not executing, not shooting the ball very well right now. And if they can just limit them to 1 shot, they can open up a bigger lead.
The execution was there. Mutombo the assist. Reggie Williams now in double figures with 10 points. Nuggets lead it by 3. They're looking for their 3rd straight win on the road and 4th in their last 7 road games. Marley thunders in and travels on the way. The Phoenix Suns want to talk it over. They have tasted defeat just 4 times in 35 games this year at home.
There was one thing about Bud that we kept hearing over and over.
Now that's fresh beer. Huh? Okay, let's say this is the original Budweiser brewery in St. Louis. There's another one in Texas.
And 2 more in Florida.
New York, California, New Jersey.
Over a dozen of them.
So Budweiser doesn't have to truck their beer clean across the country.
So you know it's fresh.
Right.
Is that my beer in New Jersey?
The Lexus ES300 provides a haven of peace and quiet for even the most sensitive ears. It's a sound investment at your Colorado Lexus dealer.
Since your face can't adjust to your razor should adjust to your face, which is exactly why we designed the Schick Tracer. The Schick Tracer is the only razor with blades that bend and flex to the unique shape of your face. So the Tracer gets in close for a clean, comfortable shave. And since you can't change your face, maybe you should change your razor. Schick, we're changing the face of shaving.
Welcome back to the America West Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Lexus. Test drive the new 1993 LS400 at Cooney and Stevenson Lexus. The Nuggets hold on to a 3-point lead and the ball halfway through the 3rd quarter. Meanwhile, the Lakers lead the Blazers 61-58. 3 minutes into the 2nd half at the Forum. Lakers coming back from a 10-point 2nd quarter deficit. Barkley outside. 14 points for Charles Barkley, who has averaged just 19 a game against the Nuggets. It's a 1-point Denver lead. Mutombo gets attention. Barkley gets the ball. Barkley with that stutter step on the dribble. Dumas has lost his shot. Still 10 on the shot clock. Marley, who has hit 4 3-pointers. There goes another. Reeling it in is Dikembe Mutombo.
He didn't miss that one by much, Al. Just a little long.
65-64 Nuggets. Denver's won 6 of their last 7 games, finishing strong. Driving strong is Macon, but loses. Well, this close game has gotten the fans into this. Dumas. One more miss on the ledger. Fast break, 4-on-2. Jackson flicks the wrist too hard. Macon inside, keeps it alive for Williams, rejected by West. Reggie Williams busting in that crowd has his 4th personal foul. So the personal fouls now spelling danger for the Nuggets. Reggie Williams, who rearranged the facial area of Charles Barkley on that poke, and LaFonso Ellis each have 4 personal fouls. Danny Ainge, the answer to our Discover Card trivia question, is back in. So Williams, who just got it going, now has to go to the bench.
Well, Paul Westphal made some substituting. You got some more outside shooting in, Frank Johnson and Danny Ainge. And like you said, Al, Richard Dumas hasn't found this shot yet. He's challenging Mutombo, and I think you're going to lose that battle 9 out of 10 times. He's just too big.
One of those nights for Richard Dumas. He has missed 10 of his 11 shots. Charles Barkley, who has pulled this team and this franchise together, the leader, the personality, adds that physical presence and dimension to this team, the inside toughness that they now go into the playoffs as, no question, one of the favorites. You know, over the course of the last 14 years, the team that finished with the best record or the second best record has gone on to win the NBA title, and the Suns will be in one of those positions. Robert Pack, the small pack of dynamite, replacing Chris Jackson, who found the shooting touch in the second half, and he goes out for rest, which is 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Nuggets looking to get the lead back. Macon fires. Swish.
Mark Macon is a good player. When he lets the game comes to him, Robert Pack gave a little penetration, kicked it out to Mark, wide open jump shot.
Frankie Johnson, Danny Ainge with Barkley, West, and Marley up front. Showing the leaping ability is Tom Hammonds, fouled from behind, and that's the 4th on Mark West. It's only a matter of time in every game that West gets into foul trouble, and the time is now. With 3:44 left in the 3rd, West heads to the bench, replaced by the rookie out of Arkansas, Oliver Miller, 1st-round draft pick by the Phoenix Suns, 22nd pick in the 1st round. Mutombo quickly goes to work on Miller. A line drive hook shot by Mutombo, and the Nuggets by 3. Suns playing tonight without Kevin Johnson. Cedric Ceballos, who has been starting for them and scoring, is out with a foot injury. And Tom Chambers is still out. Be out another 7 days to 10 days with a muscle pull. Pack is waiting. But Ainge, who did play baseball and looked like a defensive back there, to break up the completion.
Yes, he was a quarterback in football in high school. Well, Dikembe makes a long pass. He sees Robert Pack is taken off, but Danny Ainge smells it out, gets his hand on it, saves 2 points.
Dikembe looked like the quarterback there.
Yeah.
3 minutes on the nose in the 3rd quarter. Mutombo wrestles inside. As Jackie Gleason would say, a little traveling music. The Nuggets will talk it over. They trailed by 2 coming into the 3rd quarter. They lead by 3 with a timeout.
the Lexus ES 300. Despite the fact that it's a luxury sedan, it has a surprisingly powerful 24-valve V6 engine. Perhaps this is what they mean by an inexpensive, alternative source of power. Come in to your Colorado Lexus dealer. Get recharged.
Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. That's why I love Nestle Crunch Scrunches.
Only the biggest, baddest bulls. Only the meanest, toughest cowboys. Bull riders only. Don't miss a second of the action on PSN.
All over America, a new idea is taking root. It doesn't make sense to pay the price of other luxury hotels when you can get all the same great things at a DoubleTree and still be everywhere you want to be. DoubleTree Hotels. It's a smart call.
Lexus action update here in the third quarter. Nuggets 44%, but the Suns a colder shooting game to this point at 38%. Williams with the double-double, although he is now sitting on the bench with 4 personal fouls. Nuggets lead it by 3. Danny Ainge the fadeaway. And it's a 1-point ball game. 2.5 to go in the third. The Nuggets throwing a scare into the league-leading Phoenix Suns on their home floor. Last time here, the Nuggets lost by 41, but this is certainly a very different Denver Nugget club. And also a Phoenix team in a different situation. There is the touchdown pass from Barkley to Marley.
Well, once Dan Marley saw Marcus Liberty take that three-point shot and saw that he missed, he just took right off. Barkley spotted him for a nice pass.
The Suns by 1. That was a touchdown that counted for 2 points, not 6. And no extra point. Danny Ainge hopping along, pulls up for the quick jump. Danny Ainge with 13. Pack accelerates and explodes.
That was just a great move by Robert Pack. He saw a little daylight there and he used his own man for a pick. Get away from the defender.
Barkley goes against Hammonds. Seeing a lot of Charles here tonight. Robert Pack pushing the pace for the Nuggets. Too fast. And now it's a 4-on-2. Ainge to Barkley. Barkley attacks Mutombo. Mutombo attacks Barkley. Only the first foul for Dikembe.
Well, this is a great move. The only way that this is going to happen, Charles Barkley takes it in for the dunk. If he intimidated by Dikembe, he's going to get a block. Robert Pack uses Dikembe's pick right here, gets off his man and goes in for the nice little dunk. Good leaping ability.
Charles Barkley taking it inside. This is something Phoenix for many years didn't have. Is that inside toughness. They've always been a 50-game winner,
right?
Run and gun style, but when the shot wasn't falling, a little trouble inside. Just couldn't get it done with the likes of the Alvin Adamses. And no inside toughness that is needed in the playoffs.
Well, we thought we had that in Chuck Robinson, but he liked to shoot outside.
Yeah. Well, that team that won 57 games prior to this club, the 80-81 club in which Walter Davis was a member. Chris Jackson releases, and there is Barkley with another rebound, his 13th of the game. Well, we'll kind of go down the lineup, refresh your memory with some of the great names in Phoenix Suns history when we get a moment. Right now, we're in the last minute of play in the third quarter. 7 seconds to shoot, and it has been a hot Danny Ainge. In the crowd, Mutombo leaves it off for Pack, and he is off and running. Liberty is open, the reverse. Marcus Liberty on the fly, the assist to Robert Pack, and the Nuggets are one down.
Yeah, Robert Pack was under control that time, found the open man. Marcus Liberty helped that by running in the opposite lane.
Last shot for the Suns. It's in the hands of the veteran Frankie Johnson. Three. Barkley passed up his three for Danny Ainge. And that one didn't go. The Nuggets are in a ball game here in Phoenix. They head into the fourth quarter trailing by only one.
Every year for 9 years, Schick has brought to college campuses the world's toughest half-court 3-on-3 intramural tournament. Playing nice now.
You are watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
Discover the defensive training secrets of America's finest baseball school in an exciting new videotape. This is the professional instructional video that gets results. See how this group of youngsters added an amazing 6 miles per hour to their arm strength while vastly improving their running speed and defensive skills in just a few weeks of work. Baseball World's revolutionary new video features professional scout and instructor Tommy Mansky and the same defensive drills used by Baseball World's back-to-back 1990-91 AAU National Championship teams. Lou Pavlovich Jr., editor of Collegiate Baseball Magazine, calls it a masterpiece, the best defensive drill video ever produced. San Diego Padres Major League superstar Fred McGriff agrees.
I'm so impressed with the instructional videos by Coach Mansky that I've given them my full endorsement. When you watch them, you'll know why.
Baseball World's defensive drill video makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels and improves coaches' practice organization. To order your copy for only $29.95, have your credit card ready and call toll-free. Call 1-800-253-8665. Call now and we'll ship today.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by North Suburban Medical Center, quality's new name in healthcare. And also in part by Ford. See your local Ford dealer and think Ford first. The scoring by quarters, and when it all adds up, the Suns clinging to a 1-point lead over the Denver Nuggets heading into the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, the Lakers lead Portland by 4 with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter in LA. The Nuggets come into this game 2.5 games behind the Lakers, who right now are sitting in the final playoff spot in the Western Conference with just a little over 2 weeks to go in the regular season. The Suns have not lost this year to a Western Conference team on their home floor. Oliver Miller digs his way inside. And the Suns look to be digging in to start this fourth period.
Yeah, Al, they went right after LaFonso Ellis, that first play of the game.
LaFonso with the 4 personal fouls. Charles Barkley getting a rare rest to begin the fourth quarter. It's Pack and Jackson, Ellis, Liberty, and Hammonds. Ellis gets it back, 1 on the shot clock, and drills it. LaFonso Ellis has a little of Dan Marley in him. 76-75. I think after that shot, the Suns know they're in for one here the rest of the way. Oliver Miller working on the smaller Tom Hammonds. Ellis, Nuggets have 3 players with 10 rebounds. Marcus Liberty flies in, and the Nuggets regain the lead.
Well, this is what the Suns usually do to other opposing teams. Get fast break, get some easy ones, but I think the Nuggets are a much quicker team tonight.
The scrappiness of the Denver Nuggets. Saved by Ellis, and a beauty. Here's Pack running the break. He has Jackson and Liberty, but Robert Pack turns it over. He's saying it was touched by a Phoenix Sun. But no compassion for Robert Pack among the referees. Oh, there he stopped the dribble. He started again. He's saying that the Suns knocked it away and just regained possession and started the dribble again. Charles Barkley's going to have to wait. And Charles Barkley is laughing at Dan Issel, who is explaining to Barkley now that this rule was to save time, and it has done nothing more than delay the game. 22nd timeout is taken now. And that's the mood of the Phoenix Suns. They're losing here on their home floor, but right now the Suns are just treading water, waiting to get to the playoffs, on their way to the most successful season in franchise history. And the timing was right. The year they moved into this beautiful new America West Arena. State of the art. Dream come true for the Phoenix Suns. It seats 19,023. Beginning of the year, they had already sold out the whole season. About 1,300 on the waiting list for season tickets. And Charles Barkley, a man that created the excitement, 88 luxury boxes will run you about $70,000 a year. Frankie Johnson, ripped down by Ellis. Ellis with 11 boards, Mutombo 10, Williams 10, Hammond 7, and here's Barkley, who's going, gone. Couldn't control the basketball for the bring the house down dunk, but enough to give the Suns a 1-point lead. Reggie Williams is back in with 4 personal fouls. Now Ellis flies by Richard Dumas. Not only stronger than Dumas, but on that play, quicker than him.
Yes, he felt Richard Dumas was on his left hand, and once he got the ball, he just immediately took off to the right, had a clear lane to the basket.
Barkley and Ellis with the 4. This is for his 5th. It's off of the Nuggets and out of bounds. 9.5 to go. Dan Issel wondering if this young ball club of his could pull it off here tonight. The Suns' three-point shooting has now gone haywire. Pack certainly won't shoot it from there. Draws it outside, takes a look. Small team in there for the Nuggets. Mutombo's on the bench. 7 on the shot clock. Pack wanted to clear it out. Makes a sensational shot after Ainge had cut him off in the lane.
Anticipated that move, but he was able to finish it.
Dumas even having problems with stops. That time it was Ellis who had something to do with it, but it's Ellis's 5th personal foul.
Yes. The thing is, Alfonso maybe should have let him go. He's too important to our team to be sitting on the bench. You should just let Richard Dumas have that dunk and get ready to go down because we need him.
The shooting woes continue to the foul line for Dumas, who has made 1 of 11 tonight from the floor, and he's now 3 of 5 from the line. The Lakers now have opened up a 9-point lead late in the 3rd quarter. The magic number for the Lakers to clinch that last playoff spot over the Nuggets is 7. Any combination of Nugget wins and Laker losses that total 7, and the Nuggets will look ahead to next year and the lottery. Crowd groaning along with Dumas. Nuggets, though, here leading it by 3. Chris Jackson steps inside for the hesitation. From behind, it is Frankie Johnson. And the Phoenix Suns are now experiencing that sinking feeling where they know they are indeed in trouble. The Denver Nuggets looking for their 7th win in their last 8, looking for their 3rd win on the road, doing with it with a key injury of their own to Brian Stith. Paul Westphal knew he was in trouble, Walt. We talked about this in the open. They had gotten away with some ugly wins over the Lakers, a last-second victory on a desperation 3-pointer by Marley last night in Sacramento. And coming into this game without Sabalas, Kevin Johnson, and Chambers against the scrappy Nuggets club, that it's not the same Nuggets club that lost by 41 here earlier in the year.
Well, the Phoenix Suns, they definitely don't want to go into playoffs playing like this. They want to pick it up another notch, just like they were doing earlier in the season.
but their players also understand that there are some physical and mental impossibilities at this point. No, they will rise to the occasion in the playoffs. They still rise to the occasion tonight. Frankie Johnson pulls the trigger, and he really has been some difference in tonight's game. Without Frankie Johnson, the Suns in deep trouble. Right now, he pulls them to within one. 8 minutes left in the fourth. Good one going in Phoenix.
Fresh, pure, and natural. Budweiser, king of beers.
Fact, the price on this special 93 Ford Tempo has been reduced $1,300 from last year, and it's available in this area only. Fact, at $94.49, this 93 Ford Tempo is the best value around. Fact, this Ford Tempo comes loaded with air conditioning, AM/FM stereo, tilt steering, power steering, and more for just $94.49. So if you want the best deal on a Ford Tempo, it's a fact. At $94.49, you don't have to look any farther.
See your Ford dealer today.
Hi, I'm Dan Issel, and I have a message for all men over the age of 40. Have you been hearing a lot about prostate cancer lately and wishing there was a quick, easy way to find out if you're at risk? Well, now there is. Simply call the Urology Hotline at North Suburban Medical Center, formerly Humana Hospital Mountain View, to schedule a low-cost screening that involves a blood test and a physical examination of the prostate. That number is 450-3698. That's 450-3698. Do it today.
Welcome back to jam-packed America West Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Ford. See your local Ford dealer and think Ford first. The crowd doing what they can do to get the Phoenix Suns over the hump. Nuggets with the ball in the one-point lead. Chris Jackson. Dumas rips it down. Frankie Johnson in the backcourt with Danny Ainge, Dumas, Barkley, and West up front. Falling in is Barkley. He gets some room. Oh, Barkley with a one-handed tip, and Phoenix by one.
That's just an awesome play by Charles Barkley. He knew he had missed the first shot and was right there again. As soon as his feet touched the floor, he tipped it back in.
Charles Barkley has a triple-double tonight. 24 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists. And there is another rebound. Charles is in charge. Oh, from nowhere, Reggie Williams smacks it away and pays the price. His fifth personal foul. But Charles Barkley knows it is time to take over.
And once Reggie Williams took that shot, Richard Dumas just took off. Just Dan Marley did it on the other end.
So Barkley, before the big rebound, and goes upstairs and takes a swat at it with his fingertips and tips it in. Dumas, meanwhile, makes the foul shot. Barkley's sixth triple-double of the season, and that is the most by any player in the NBA this year. Dumas is the kind of player struggles through a nightmare of a night, but in the end is still there to make the big shots.
Well, Richard usually lets the game come to him. Tonight, I've seen him force a few shots, and usually he doesn't do that. That's why he shoots such a high percentage.
Nuggets now with Ellis and Williams on the bench, each with 5 personal fouls. Liberty slices in, whacked away by West. Here's Barkley charging out of the backcourt. Frankie Johnson in low to West. And the foul. And with Ellis out of there and Mutombo trying to stop them alone. And this is the credit right here you are seeing to the Denver Nuggets. Last time they were here was 6:46 to go. Half of the crowd were gone.
Yes.
And there was no reason to shout and stomp after a Phoenix basket. But the Nuggets sending such a scare in the Phoenix here tonight really has got the crowd pumped up. And the Suns, who have been very lethargic the last few games, and you see how charged up they are now to take the lead this late against the Nuggets.
Well, the last time we played down here, at that time we just started that 14-game losing streak. Dan Issel said he wanted to use this game tonight as a measuring stick for his players to see how they improved, and they have.
Chris Jackson floats in. 14 points for Jackson tonight. Nuggets showing, though, they will not wilt after this onslaught by the Suns, spearheaded by this man. Ellis is back in, blindsiding his Liberty. Mutombo gets one more. Mutombo talking to Steve Javie, who has one of the quickest triggers in the league. But Steve walking away from Dikembe.
I think Steve Javie's thrown out some mascots before. He's so quick with the whistle.
Better watch. I think he's looking over here at you. I think he heard that, Walt.
You can't get me now. Yes, it was Al. When I was with Portland, he threw out about 6 people and the mascot.
Mr. Dumas just shaking his head. 111 from the field, 5 of 9 from the foul line. 5-point lead for the Suns. Lakers lead the Blazers by 4 heading into the fourth quarter at the Forum. Nuggets tomorrow night in Los Angeles to face the Clippers. And Tuesday in Golden State. Danny Ainge ends up inside on Ellis. Ainge showing that he certainly has some strength, anchors his legs on the floor and stopped Ellis for the moment, but also the foul. 6 minutes on the nose remaining in the fourth quarter. Nuggets will be back home Wednesday night against Hakeem Olajuwon and the first place Houston Rockets. Nuggets at home Wednesday. Foot to the wrist for 3. Chris Jackson puts the Nuggets right back in there.
Well, that was a smart play on Chris Jackson and Mark making Clark. Chris wasn't open initially, but he went to the other side, got a great pick from LaFonso, 3-point shot.
His 59th three-pointer of the year. Jackson, who had 4 points at halftime, now has 17. Frankie Johnson. You know, Frankie Johnson was in the Nuggets camp last preseason. But went back to Italy.
Well, Frank was coming off a broken wrist, and it wasn't completely healed, and his chances of making a team were very slim, so he decided to go with the sure money.
As Mutombo does there, Marcus Liberty has made an assortment of twisting shots, and this forces the Phoenix Suns to call a timeout because the Nuggets are back in business. It's a 2-point game with 5 minutes left.
Here on the set, when the lights come up and the camera starts to roll, there's no place to hide. And even one flake of dandruff, even one, can ruin it all. That's why I use Head & Shoulders. You know, it's even better than it was just a couple of years ago. Today's Head & Shoulders gets to 10 times more of the places dandruff starts. Put it to the test. Prove it to yourself. Head & Shoulders and Head & Shoulders 2-in-1. Because great hair can't have flakes.
They come from different cities, different states, different worlds. They're as different as the courts they learned to play on. They share almost nothing in common, except what it takes to make it to the highest court in the land, and what they'll wear when they get there. Champion is proud to be the official maker of all the uniforms for the NBA.
They come from across the country with court savvy and shots that serve notice. The Diet Pepsi U.S. Men's Clay Court Championship. Only one survives.
The world's best push the edge. the chalk, the talk, the walk. Not your typical players, not your typical game.
It's tennis to the limit. Live coverage begins Saturday, April 17th on PSN.
Checking the Ford NBA scoreboard. Very quickly, these finals. Detroit over Boston. Chicago beat Atlanta. Also tonight, just checking in with this one in the fourth quarter. The Lakers holding the 2-point lead over Portland as we get back into play. 4:45 left. Barkley ripped down by Mutombo. The Nuggets with the ball, a chance to tie it up. Denver looking for their 33rd win of the season against 41 defeats. Jackson on fire. 19 points now for Chris Jackson, and it is tied at 92.
Well, Chris Jackson has the advantage because of his youth and quickness on Frank Johnson. He can go by him anytime he wants or pull up for that jumper.
Marley calling for the ball. Drills it inside. It is off of Marley and out of bounds. 4 minutes and counting in the fourth quarter in Phoenix. Mutombo across the lane. Turns into a pass to Ellis. 5 seconds to shoot. Williams darting in the lane and got it.
Very tough shot, but Reggie finished that. He had Mutombo open for a little dish-off pass, too, but Reggie got that shot to go down.
94-92 Nuggets. Back it goes to Barkley. Johnson. Swish. Frankie Johnson floats it upstairs. 16 points for Frankie Johnson.
He had to put a little bit more arc on that because Chris Jackson was coming right at him.
And Jackson coming at him again. The black by West. Fast break. Mutombo hustling back to make it a 3-on-3. Wild sequence. And the Nuggets back the other way. They are racing. Waving forward is Reggie Williams. Needs some help. 3 on the nose left in this fourth quarter. All tied at 94. Young Nuggets showing great poise here in Phoenix. Fadeaway, Dikembe. Well, in the end, the star of the night for the Phoenix Suns may be Johnson, not Kevin, but Frank. Timeout taken with 2:43 left.
Today, for home repairs or remodeling, you'll pay a carpenter an average cost of $25 an hour. You'll pay a plumber about $45 an hour. Big bucks. But the cost of kitchens and bathrooms from Time Life Books is just $4.99. And like the other books in the Home Repair and Improvement series, it shows and tells you how to save big bucks by being your own carpenter, plumber, and electrician. You'll learn step by step how to make custom kitchen countertops. If you're installing a new bathtub, you'll see just how to attach the drain pipes and connect the hardware. Order kitchens and bathrooms today. Examine it free for 15 days. Keep it for the special introductory price of just $4.99. Other volumes will follow, one about every month. Keep only the ones you want. Cancel anytime. So do the job right and put the big bucks you'd pay a pro into your own pocket with the Home Repair and Improvement series from Time Life Books.
You are watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
Next Nuggets telecast right here on Prime Sports Network. The Nuggets against the Golden State Warriors Monday night, 8:30 Mountain Time, 9:30 Central Time. Nuggets will close out this road trip and then return home. Who knows what the story will be by that time. Right now, the Nuggets have a chance to move to within a game and a half of the Los Angeles Lakers for that last playoff spot. That's if the Nuggets could pull this one out in Phoenix. Meanwhile, the Lakers at home are now trailing Portland by 5 points with 8.5 minutes left in their game. That is the update. Frank Johnson makes the move on Chris Jackson with 2.5 left. Barkley. Johnson is the open man. Barkley takes it away from Ellis. And the shot clock reset to 24. Fade away. Mutombo gathers it in. 14 rebounds for Dikembe Mutombo. Nuggets now have the chance to take the lead. A thriller in the Valley of the Sun. Coming down to 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. Jackson gets the step, floats it up. Marley busts out. Jackson was looking for a foul. Looked like somebody got him on the arm.
And Chris Jackson usually doesn't shoot it that short, so I think there may have been a foul the referees missed.
Phoenix spreading it out, taking their time. 10 seconds to shoot. Marley hasn't really shot the ball much in the second half. Barkley has. 24 for Barkley. Nuggets want a time. Chris Jackson has not gotten the signal yet. And with 1:34 left, Dan Issel will talk it over. Trailing by 2. Suns 96, Nuggets 94. Remember the last time we were in LA against the Clippers? Tie ball game, closing seconds. This was late in November. Manning, no. Seconds to go at the buzzer. Chris Jackson. Swish. One of, if not the most memorable moment of this terrific season for the Young Nuggets. And they will replay it tomorrow night against the Los Angeles Clippers. And you'll see it on Channel 2 starting at 8:30. You know, we're talking so much about the Nuggets behind the Los Angeles Lakers, 2.5 games behind. They're 3.5 games behind the Clippers. And at this point, the Clippers do not own the tie advantage over the Nuggets. Actually, it's still up in the air. So Nuggets could, in the end, they have 2 games left with the Clippers. If they win those 2, still conceivably could catch the Clippers, if not the Lakers.
Well, every game now is very important and can make the future for the Nuggets this season.
Nuggets trail by 2. They have the ball, 1.5 minutes to go. 17 on the shot clock. Mark Macon looking for Chris Jackson, who is covered by Frankie Johnson. 7 seconds to shoot. Ellis wants it. The double team. Good defense by Phoenix. Mutombo with a good shot. Gets the ball. Mutombo in position. But unable to connect. Denver gets the reset. Full 24 seconds. Dan Issel makes a change. He'll put in Robert Pack. Take out Mark Macon. 1:07 remains. Crowd did not like that decision by the referee. Double team on Mutombo. Looks like there's 6 Suns out there. Crowd wants him to shoot. Mutombo knows better. Ellis against Barkley. Fade away. Foul. LaFonso Ellis, the rookie, taking it to Barkley. Second foul on Charles Barkley. And you know how much Ellis wanted that one.
Yeah, so that's a good post-up move to take him towards the middle and then come back with that right pivot foot and try to get a shot. But Barkley hit him on the elbow that time.
16 points, 12 rebounds for LaFonso Ellis. And he is hearing it from the crowd and seeing it. Swish.
I'm sure he saw a lot of that at Notre Dame. They play such a tough schedule that I'm sure the people in the stands were doing more than the Phoenix Suns fans.
Defensive move, make him back on the floor for the Nuggets. Jackson goes out. This is to tie it. He knew he missed it. Charges down the lane, but squeezing the ball is Dan Majerle. There's the arithmetic. The double team. 7 seconds to shoot. Ainge, a force, and Denver has possession. Suns clinging to the 1-point lead. Nuggets have 14 seconds to shoot, 21 to go. Pack, down goes Johnson. There's no call. Now there is. It's against Mark West. West, 5th personal foul. The Suns are over the limit, and it will put Dikembe Mutombo on the line. 1 to tie, 2 to take the lead.
Well, that was a good no call by the ref, Frank Johnson, on Robert Pack. He wasn't quite set, and really they could have called a block or foul. They let it go, though.
Mutombo now gets the treatment. It is all tied up. Paul Westphal beside himself. How did we get into this position, he's thinking.
Everything is going so smooth.
This is for the lead. Mutombo ices the 2 foul shots. Denver by 1. And now it's in the hands of the Suns when we come back.
Nobody's perfect. So why do people only want to adopt perfect children? I'm Susan Cox for Holt International Children's Services, and I'd like you to meet Emily Ellis. There was a time when people said she'll never do normal things, never walk, never learn. Those people didn't know what love and commitment and caring can do. Emily was adopted by a family who was willing to love her. And today she runs and sings and brings a world of happiness into the life of her family and others around her. That's what love and families and adoption can do. At Holt International Children's Services, we believe every child deserves a home of his own, not just the perfect ones, everyone. For more information about adopting a child with special needs, write to Holt, P.O. Box 2880, Eugene, Oregon.
Denver Nuggets just would never go away, and now on the 2 foul shots by Dikembe Mutombo have forced the Phoenix Suns to have to make a basket, or they will lose for the first time this year on their home floor to a Western Conference team. 97-96, the Nuggets lead it by 1. Let me remind you that the last time the Suns played here at home against the Lakers, Dan Majerle scored 6 points in the last 11 seconds. He had 2 3-pointers. Majerle has hit 4 3-pointers already tonight, but they have come early in the game. And all eyes on Dan Majerle. 15.6 seconds left. And the Suns could be 0-6 in that category, trailing 97-96. But this is the best team in the NBA. Looking for franchise record 58 wins. Certainly know what to do in the final seconds. And it goes to Barkley. The double team forces Barkley the rebound. 6 seconds. Ainge steps in, lets it fly. Oh my. As calm as you could be.
Well, Danny Ainge passed it into Barkley. You know the ball was going to eventually get to him and in his hands. Majerle saves it again. He does something good. Every time he plays, kicks it to Danny. But the thing that does it, Robert Pack knows he's such a good outside shooter. He rushes out. Danny just gives him a good fake, steps in, shortens his shot, 2 points.
Bad shot by Barkley. But Walt, you're telling me this was a set play for Marley, rebound to kick it out to Ainge. But you saw Marley in a pack of 3 Nuggets getting the offensive rebound. Swish, nothing but net. There's so many weapons on this Phoenix Suns club, as we are seeing. So now the Nuggets have to diagram. They have 3 seconds left, 2.9 to be exact. And as we wait for this final shot, in Los Angeles in the Forum, Lakers trail Portland by 4 with a little over 4 minutes to go in their game. This crowd has been thrilled tonight. They certainly see a different Nugget club than they saw back in December when the Suns won in that game, 129-88. Suns, of course, have their injuries. Sabalas is out, Kevin Johnson, Tom Chambers, Nuggets key injury of late, Brian Stiff. Here's the Portland score with 4 minutes and change to go. And now the Nuggets looking for the dramatic. Can they pull this one out in the final seconds? Well, that's the Chris Webber instructions. You have the timeout if you want it. Williams looks. Robert Pack will accelerate. Pack gets it off. Barkley with a triple-double leads the way, and the mighty Phoenix Suns pull it out with 2.9 seconds to go over the Denver Nuggets. And right now, if you didn't know, Walt, and you were sitting in this America West Arena and heard this crowd and watching them demonstrate, you would think they just won a playoff game.
Yes, definitely. I mean, they've done this, the last 3 games, come back and made it exciting for their fans.
And even with the injuries, if Dan Issel wanted to use this one as a yardstick, certainly a very successful game for the Denver Nuggets. But in the end, the experience of the Suns win out. And for the first time, they win a game when they're held under 100 points. 98-97, Phoenix Suns over the game hustling Denver Nuggets. Tonight's play of the game is brought to you by Schick Tracer, the only razor that flexes to trace every curve on your face. And Chris Jackson, who had but 4 points in the first half, coming back with 15 in the second half, but it's not enough because Danny Ainge pulled the trigger with 2.9 seconds to go. So calm, so collected, so wide open. And that is the Schick Tracer play of the game. That's the one that decided it. Danny Ainge with the winner. Not his first and not his last. We'll be back.
My brother, about to become a father.
So how big can a crib be? Season tickets went on sale today, Mike. And, well, maybe next year. We've gone 5 years straight. Yeah. Is this about the kid? This kids get in for free, you know. It's gonna be a little tight. Mike, this year's on me.
Only one beer has the taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Budweiser.
Now, the new little guy's going to every game, right? Bobby, it could be a girl.
This quality adjustable bed costs 50% less than these 3 quality flatbeds. 50% less. Yet Craftmatic offers these advantages over flatbeds. First, it adjusts electrically at the touch of a button, so you can read in bed, watch TV in bed, snack, chat on the phone, do a crossword puzzle, and relax and sleep in wonderful comfort. Plus, if you suffer from low back pain or edema or swelling of the legs, unlike any ordinary flatbed, an adjustable bed may temporarily provide relief. Call toll-free to receive this free adjustable bed catalog by mail. Get the facts about the adjustable bed that costs 50% less than all 3 of these quality flatbeds. 50% less. Call for your free catalog now.
Call toll-free 1-800-BED-9113. That's 1-800-BED-9113. Call toll-free 1-800-BED-9113.
Fact. The price on this special 93 Ford Tempo has been reduced $1,300 from last year, and it's available in this area only. Fact, at $94.49, this 93 Ford Tempo is the best value around. Fact, this Ford Tempo comes loaded with air conditioning, AM/FM stereo, tilt steering, power steering, and more for just $94.49. So if you want the best deal on a Ford Tempo, it's a fact. At $94.49, you don't have to look any farther.
See your Ford dealer today.
You are watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
Heartbreaking defeat by the Denver Nuggets, looking to pull off an upset, trying to hand the Suns only their 5th loss at home in 36 games, but instead the Phoenix Suns, once again, we talked about at the beginning of the game, Walt, find a way to win. And this is their 10th straight and a franchise record 58th win of the season for the Phoenix Suns. And tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers with that fresh, pure, natural taste. Nothing beats a Bud. And Charles Barkley has infused this Phoenix franchise with a fresh, pure, natural taste. Barkley had a triple-double tonight, including this sensational tip in the crowd. 26 points, 19 rebounds, 12 assists. Charles Barkley, no question, the Budweiser player of the game, leading the Phoenix Suns to the 1-point win over the Denver Nuggets. We'll be back with a post-game show on Prime Sports Network in a thriller. It's the Suns over the Nuggets, 98-97.
The excitement of Denver Nuggets basketball on Prime Sports Network is brought to you by Ford. See your local Ford dealer and think Ford first. Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up, make it a Bud Light. Chick Tracer, the only razor that flexes to trace every curve on your face. The Discover card. It pays to discover, the card that pays you back. Your neighborhood Colorado Pontiac dealer. And by JC Keepsake, Colorado's leading diamond engagement and wedding ring store.
You are watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
Nobody's perfect. So why do people only want to adopt perfect children? I'm Susan Cox for Holt International Children's Services, and I'd like you to meet Emily Ellis. There was a time when people said she'll never do normal things, never walk, never learn. Those people didn't know what love and commitment and caring can do. Emily was adopted by a family who was willing to love her. And today she runs and sings and brings a world of happiness into the life of her family and others around her. That's what love and families and adoption can do. At Holt International Children's Services, we believe every child deserves a home of his own, not just the perfect ones, everyone. For more information about adopting a child with special needs, write to Holt, P.O. Box 2880, Eugene, Oregon.
This is the Nuggets post-game report, a recap of tonight's game with stats, highlights, and scores from around the NBA. Now, back to the arena for a wrap-up of tonight's game.
Welcome back to Phoenix. 98-97, the final score. The Suns in the final seconds beat the Nuggets. Al Albert along with Walter Davis. And our guest here on the postgame show is a veteran, Frankie Johnson. There are a couple of stars for the Suns, Barkley and Ainge, and also the veteran Frankie Johnson. And this is the kind of game I think energizes a team that was, they said, going through the motions the last couple of weeks of the season.
Well, we knew we would be in for a fight here tonight because Denver's fighting, for that final playoff spot with the Lakers. And, they had been playing well. We saw that, and we hadn't been playing particularly well. But I tell you, we've been finding ways to win ball games lately. I tell you, starting with the Lakers game, and then we had a fight last night in Sacramento.
Tell me a little bit about the last sequence, down by 1 point, about 15 seconds to go. What was discussed in your huddle coming out for the final shot?
Well, we basically wanted to get Danny Ainge and Charles on the same side for an isolation, for Danny to either take the jumper if his man left, or or dump it down to Charles. And if they double team, then he'd dump it back to Danny. But what happened in that sequence? Charles took the shot. Dan Marley had a great rebound and passed it out to Danny. And Danny, the veteran that he is, took one dribble because the guy was coming at him, and he hit a big shot.
What about the shot by Charles?
The shot by Charles?
Yes. What about the shot by Charles? How would you rate that as far as from 1 to 10 being 10 a really great shot to take, or one not your high percentage shot?
No, but that's typical of Charles. Yeah. Charles has always said that he had a couple guys on him. He says he's always puts himself in a position to win or lose a ball game, and he likes that type of pressure, and he's been doing it all year for us. So to rate it 1 to 10 is just normal for Charles.
Well, Frank, all year long you've been coming in the fourth quarter and doing an excellent job for the Suns when Kevin Johnson's out, and I'm impressed with that because as my career ended, my timing went off and I couldn't go into the games and do the certain things. But I'm impressed with how do you keep your timing when you don't know if you're going to play that much or at night?
Well, you basically just go out and work out on your own because we don't do a lot of practicing right now, and you've got to take it upon yourself to just go out there and work. And another thing is that for me, I'm going in and running the ball club. Your timing is coming in. You're shooting a sweet jumper, so it was a little different. I'm not looking for scoring.
Okay. All right, a key man in the Phoenix Suns' plans. Last 3 years he spent in Italy. He's back in the NBA at the age of 34, and certainly a key role for this team. The solid veteran coming off the bench could be the difference if this Phoenix Suns club goes all the way. Frankie Johnson is our guest as the Phoenix Suns beat the Nuggets 98-97.
They come from different cities, different states, different worlds. They're as different as the courts they learn to play on. They share almost nothing in common, except what it takes to make it to the highest court in the land, and what they'll wear when they get there. Champion is proud to be the official maker of all the uniforms for the NBA.
You're looking sharp. You've come so far. And we know how to make the most of who you are.
Only Gillette Sensor has spring-mounted twin blades that adjust to your face. A shave this close, this safe was never this easy. Sensor. And now there's Gillette Shaving Gel with advanced lubricants for an incredibly smooth shave.
Gillette.
For all those people who feel most car payments are simply too big and too long, and who won't consider a lease because it leaves them with too little, the Colorado Pontiac Excitement Team presents the newest way to buy a car, Pontiac Smart Drive. For example, for only $225 a month, you can Smart Drive the Pontiac Grand Am SE Coupe. And the values are just as good on the Bonneville and Grand Prix. So come on, Smart Drive a Pontiac today.
You are watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
A thriller here in Phoenix. The Suns win their 58th game of the year, a franchise record, but had to do it with 2.9 seconds left in the game on a shot by Danny Ainge. Let's take a look at the final statistics for this ball game. Cold shooting night for the Suns, only at 44%. Nuggets had one more field goal, had a few more foul shots, but the Suns in this game hit 7 3-pointers, 7 of 15, including 4 by Dan Marley, 2 by Danny Ainge. That last one, he initially had the 3, but didn't need it, so he stepped in to take the 2-pointer. Also tonight, as far as the final stats are concerned, the Nuggets are doing a job on the boards, out-rebounding the Suns. Dikembe Mutombo led the way with 15. LaFonso Ellis had 12. Reggie Williams had 10. 3 Nuggets in double figures on the boards. Turnovers were low, and the Nuggets had 17 assists in the first half, only had 5 more in the second. Suns definitely getting it from the bench, led by Ainge, who had 15, and Johnson, who had 14 points. We'll be back for more from Phoenix in just a moment.
You're watching Prime Sports Network, a member of the Prime Network family.
Today, for home repairs or remodeling, you'll pay a carpenter an average cost of $25 an hour. You'll pay a plumber about $45 an hour. Big bucks. But the cost of kitchens and bathrooms from Time Life Books is just $4.99. And like the other books in the Home Repair and Improvement series, it shows and tells you how to save big bucks by being your own carpenter, plumber, and electrician. You'll learn step by step how to make custom kitchen countertops. If you're installing a new bathtub, you'll see just how to attach the drain pipes and connect the hardware. Order kitchens and bathrooms today. Examine it free for 15 days. Keep it for the special introductory price of just $4.99. Other volumes will follow, one about every month. Keep only the ones you want. Cancel anytime. So do the job right and put the big bucks you'd pay a pro into your own pocket with the Home Repair and Improvement series from Time Life Books.
When you were a child, you were told we're all created equal. But now that you're a little older, you see things a bit differently. The new Lexus GS Luxury Performance Sedan. It's roomier, quieter, and rides smoother than cars costing thousands more. Maybe we are all created equal, but it doesn't have to stay that way. See your Colorado Lexus dealer for treatment that's unequaled.
Tomorrow night, the Nuggets in Los Angeles against the Clippers. You can see the game on Channel 2 starting at 8:30. And then the final game of this road trip Tuesday night, right back here on Prime Sports Network, or rather Monday night, the Nuggets against the Golden State Warriors. Nuggets home Wednesday against Houston. The Los Angeles Lakers lost tonight at home, 109-105 to the Blazers. The Nuggets almost chipped the deficit to 1.5 behind the Lakers, but this play by Danny Ainge was the difference with 2.9 seconds to go. The winner, and Phoenix on top 98-97. So the Nuggets remain 2.5 games behind the Lakers in that last playoff spot. That means the magic number is now down to 6. There's the final. For Walt Davis, this is Al Albert. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow night from Los Angeles.